Please stand. I'd like to ask Adrian Taylor, White House Breakthrough International Ministries, to come and give us our invitation. Adrian, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Good evening, everyone. Could we all bow our heads? Gracious Father, we thank you. We truly appreciate this opportunity and this moment that we have to gather to bring the business of this city before you. We seek your wisdom. We ask for your direction. And we thank you that your spirit will guide us. Bless us as we prepare to celebrate this great Christmas holiday season. And as we prepare for a new year, we thank you for this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. I'll call to order the
Cape Girardeau City Council is our December 5th, 2016 meeting. Thank you all for being here. Roll call, please.
Wayne Bowen. Here. Bob Fox. Here. Robbie Guard.
Here.
Victor Gunn.
Here.
Shelley Moore.
Here.
Harry Rediker.
Here.
Joseph Azuro.
Here. Item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda. My motion.
Move to adopt.
By Gunn,
Second.
seconded by Guard. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No presentations this evening. Communications and reports. Number one, I was out of town and able to participate in the events surrounding the death of Marcia Ritter. Marcia and I and C. John were very close friends. I always looked up to them and supported them in their efforts in their missionary work and their work throughout the community. Her support of her husband John, C. John, when we were on the school board together, remember those days. All the missionary trips that Marcia and C. John took, in fact, that cost really ended up costing C. John his life. They gave their lives to the betterment of humans and to the betterment of our whole world. And Marcia was always a dedicated community leader, and she'll be sorely missed as she was spent a lot of time serving in these seats, council. So a real loss, and wanted to remember Marcia this evening. We have the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, State Missouri Highway Transportation Commission meeting here in Cape Girardeau today and tomorrow. Their official meeting is tomorrow at 10. I'll be attending a breakfast with them tomorrow morning. It'll be good to have them out in the field and in southeast Missouri to see what's going on throughout our area. We enjoy a good partnership with the commission, and I want to highlight a little bit of our accomplishments through TTF locally, and then also express our thanks for the partnerships along with TTF that we've been able to do together with the Department of Transportation. Council will highlight our stormwater special study session December 15th, 2 o'clock at the Osage Center coming up. And 2 street openings last week, long awaited, Hopper Road at the interstate and the Independence Roundabout. So to staff, those are accomplished. One was delayed just a little bit in the fall. The Independence Roundabout opened exactly on schedule. And is both carrying traffic now. So those are good TTF projects that are coming to fruition. Other comments by communications from council.
I'd like to point out that Wednesday at 11 a.m. there will be a ceremonial wreath honoring veterans and commemorating Pearl Harbor Day. And I'd encourage anybody in the community and media to attend. I know there'll be some World War II veterans there, and possibility that there'll actually be a Pearl Harbor survivor speaking at that event. That wasn't confirmed, but I was told they're trying to get that person there. So I would encourage everybody to commemorate this very important date in our history.
Mayor, the last week I had Keep Cape Beautiful meeting last Tuesday, and at that meeting we actually discussed coming up with a Spirit of the Season award for residential owners. So you might be able to have a 4th of July, a patriotic award winner, and maybe a fall winner, and that way it wouldn't just be about the businesses in that. So that's something that Julia and her staff are going to look at and see if there's a need
Sounds
for
good.
that. And then also I had the pleasure last Wednesday of working, being in the strategic planning meeting with the Cape Girardeau Public Schools. Hendrickson Business Advisors had been leading that charge for the last few months, and I got a lot out of it. It's interesting to see over the last 20 years our public school system. As we got some news last week about Dr. Welker retiring after a 9-year career, I can't help but think of the stability that he's brought to the Cape Public School system, and the forethought to put together a strategic plan and to look into that and to decide where that school system needs to go in changing times for the next 4 or 5 years. So really enjoyed that. I think there were about 45 community split between teachers and community members. So really excited about where the Cape Public Schools will be heading in the next 4 to 5 years under new superintendent.
What's the next timetable there? What's the timetable heading ahead on the strategic plan?
I think within the next 6 weeks, they're looking to have the objectives rolled out and then the action items for each objective.
Okay.
So I thought that was, the surveys are already all been back and
Right.
compiled all that information. It was very interesting to see the different types of information on the school system, how technology is affecting this classroom, not only with the students, but with the teachers as well, and a multitude of different avenues. I will say that it was overall that parents of the 600 that were surveyed, it was overwhelmingly that the school system was looked in a positive light. And I think if you go back and snapshot in time, that's not always been the case. So being an alum and seeing some of those growing pains, I was really proud to see what's going on at Cape Public Schools.
Okay, very good. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I was hoping we could give Reverend Taylor a chance to speak about developments with his church, something of practice we've had as we've had people
Okay.
come to give invocation.
Very good. Adrian?
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. We thank you for the privilege of being able to speak and share updates as always. Always appreciate Dr. Bowen thinking about us. Our church is growing and expanding as always. Don't have any negative reports there. What I would like to talk about specifically is the Cape Girardeau Ministerial Alliance has been making lots of advancements over the last several years. And the latest updates is that we've instituted new bylaws and restructuring the organization. And somehow, by the divine wisdom of all of the wonderful ministers of our community, they have elected me president again for one more year. So I'll be serving in that capacity during the year of 2017. Actually, we've just extended the terms for a while. They were just a one-year term for president and vice president. And so we've tried to bring a little bit more continuity to that organization and hope that we can work in partnership with the city council and other community organization groups to see Cape Girardeau become stronger. I would indeed love to invite all of you who would like to be a part of our final meeting for this year. It's always the second Tuesday of each month, and it's at 12 noon. So that meeting is going to take place at St. Francis Hospital. There has been a disconnect between St. Francis Hospital and the Ministerial Alliance for several years, and we've been able to see that relationship restored. And so we're looking forward to seeing more meetings and more involvement with the Ministerial Alliance and St. Francis Hospital, as well as the other organizations within our city. And so if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Okay.
But thank you so much for your leadership. I know the numbers have grown
Yes.
over the last couple, 3 years. I remember a couple, 3 meetings I went a few years ago, and there were like 4, 5, 6, 7 people there, and your numbers have grown a lot. And thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the work that the Ministerial Alliance is doing in our community. And we're going to have more on your plate here in the next year or two.
Well, thank you, sir. We look forward to it. We appreciate you all. Again, thank you for allowing me to
Okay,
share.
thank you, and Merry Christmas.
I did have one other announcement as well.
Okay.
On Monday, December 28th, I attended a meeting at the Chamber of Commerce sponsored by Main Street Missouri. about examining downtown revitalization and certified local government's cooperation in that area. Cape Girardeau was actually chosen to be one of the cities they looked at at no cost to the city, because there's been so many successes with our downtown and using tax credits and other tools to bring the life back to Cape. So it's great to participate in that. We're looking for more to come out of as a result of that study.
Very good. Thank you for attending that. That's great. Anyone else? Staff?
I was just going to point out the Oakland warehouse tragedy that's claimed the lives of, last I saw, 33, 35 people that are caught in a warehouse, that artist warehouse with a bunch of wood and living quarters that probably weren't supposed to be living quarters, and no sprinklers, and don't know about alarming, and just wanted to point out our staff, our fire inspectors, our development services inspectors, and our code enforcers. This is the reason they do their job, is to keep people safe. And when people ask for a permit and they want occupancy over the amount of occupancy, that's the reason we say no. And that's not easy for our staff to do. They don't like to tell people no, but they do it because of things like this that can cost people's lives. And so we want to give them credit for that, but also know in our city that we continue to be vigilant in that area, and appreciate the people's patience, because sometimes that's not the story we want to hear, is that, well, we could make into these loft apartments, and if we just didn't have all those codes, well, those codes protect people's lives. And so, Chief, anything to add to that?
Well said, sir.
Occasionally I'll step on the right thing, so I'll shut up.
Yeah, so true. What a tragedy, and an unnecessary tragedy. Anything else? Okay.
Just got an alert on that. It says the sheriff's officials in Oakland don't believe any additional bodies will be found, and the death toll is 36.
36. Okay.
It's popped up on the screen.
Okay. Council, 3 public hearings tonight. Number 1, a public hearing to consider vacating the city's interest in unimproved Sunset Boulevard right-of-way running north from Meriwether Street right-of-way in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. This public hearing is open for anyone to appear before the council. Public hearing remains open. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Number 2, the public hearing to consider a proposed amendment to section 30-105 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding the definition of yard. Public hearing is open. Anyone to appear before the council? Seeing none, we will close that public hearing. And number 3, a public hearing to consider a request to rezone property at 611, 615, 623 South Sprigg Street from C1 General Commercial to CBD Central Business District. Again, public hearing open for anyone to appear before the council. Seeing none, we will close that public hearing. Anyone here to appear before the council on any item that is on the agenda this evening? Is on the agenda. Okay, Eric, if you'll take us through the consent agenda.
Number 16-200, an ordinance amending section 15-426E of the Code of Ordinances, City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, relating to the Board of Examiners, an ordinance amending section 15-426E of the Code of Ordinances, City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, relating to the Board of Examiners. Number 16-201, an ordinance renaming Farrar Drive to North Farrar Drive and South Farrar Drive in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, an ordinance renaming Farrar Drive to North Farrar Drive and South Farrar Drive in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Bill number 16-202, an ordinance amending Schedule F of section 26-247 of the State Code by establishing no parking anytime along a portion of 4th Street in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Ordinance amending Schedule F of section 26-247 of the State Code by establishing no parking anytime along a portion of 4th Street in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 16-203, an ordinance accepting a permanent water line easement and a permanent sanitary sewer easement from Southeast Missouri University Foundation for property located in the 1400 block of North Sprague Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. An ordinance accepting a permanent water line easement and a permanent sanitary sewer easement from Southeast Missouri University Foundation for property located in the 1400 block of North Sprague Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 16-204, an ordinance enacting new Article 12 of Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, entitled Chronic Nuisance Properties, and ordinance enacting new Article 12 of Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, entitled Chronic Nuisance Properties. Number 16-205, an ordinance approving the amended record plat of Baldwin Village, and ordinance approving record plat of Baldwin Village. Number 16-206, an ordinance approving record plat of Mid-America Crossings, ordinance approving record plat of Mid-America Crossings. Bill number 16-207, an ordinance approving record plat of South K Inc., an ordinance approving record plat of South K Inc. Number 16-208, an ordinance approving the record plat of a re-subdivision of lots 88, 89, and 90 of the Meadows of West Spring Oaks amended, an ordinance approving the record plat of a re-subdivision of lots 88, 89, and 90 of the Meadows of West Spring Oaks amended. Number 16-209, an ordinance amending various provisions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding municipal court, municipal offenses, and sentencing, and ordinance amending various provisions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding municipal court, municipal offenses, and sentencing. Number 16-210, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau relating to city permits, and ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri relating to city permits. Number 16-211, an ordinance amending Section 15-5A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri relating to city licenses, and ordinance amending Section 15-5A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri relating to city licenses. Number 16-212, an ordinance amending Section 29-61 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri relating to accounts and billing, and ordinance amending Section 29-61 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri relating to accounts and billing. Number 16-213, a resolution authorizing city manager to execute an agreement with Nip Kelly Equipment Company, Inc. for the neighborhood street repair 2017 and concrete street repair 2017 projects in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Bill number 16-214, a resolution authorizing city manager to execute an agreement for professional services with Llewellyn Technology of Delaware LLC in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Council, you've heard the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for approval? So moved by Fox. Second by Zura. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor-elect, my votes on items 8 and 21 recorded as abstention, recusing because of my employment. And also on item number 18, I want to point out that this is a continuation of our TTF neighborhood street repair program, which is remarkable. If you think about so many cities that are seeing declining infrastructure, the fact we're spending almost $2 million on our existing streets is definitely a mark of our continued development and a positive thing.
Any other discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. And two new ordinances coming from the public hearings. Bill number 22, bill number 16-215, an ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding the definition of yard. First read. So moved by Bowen. And seconded by Fox. Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And bill number 16-216, an ordinance amending Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri by changing the zoning of property at 611, 615, and 623 South Sprigg Street in the City of County of Cape Girardeau, Missouri from C1 to CBD. First read. So moved by Fox.
Second.
And seconded by Guard. Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Number 24, appointment to the Show Me Center Board of Managers, which we discussed at the study session, would be our city manager, Scott Meyer.
So moved.
So moved by Gunn.
Second.
Seconded by Zura. Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And appointment to the River Campus Board of Managers, and per our discussion, one more appointment for current Dennis Volink.
So moved.
So moved by Gunn.
Second.
And seconded by Bowen. Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any other business come before us?
Move to adjourn.
By Gunn.
Second.
And seconded by Guard. Those in favor, aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned. Mr. Terry?